I'd like to say thank you to UDC's Balsa for the opportunity to speak briefly with you all today. It is tragic when a parent has to bury their child. My heart, prayers, and healing energy go out to the parents, family, and friends of Trayvon Martin. Even in the shadow of his tragic murder, I certainly hope that some great good springs forth. Unfortunately, we live in a society where there's an ingrained pattern and practice of white men and their agents killing innocent black men and women. George Jackson, Fred Hampton, Oscar Grant, Sharif Jones, Katherine Johnson, Sean Bell, Marquel McCullough, Emmett Till, James Byrd, and the gruesome list goes on and on. From the 17th century right up to Trayvon Martin. I won't list, but there is a long list of black people killed by police authorities and police authority wannabes, complete with cover-ups and false stories and claims of self-defense, a gun, knife, or stick planted after the fact on their dead body, allegations that the victim was wired up on PCP, LSD, angel dust, crack cocaine, M&Ms, or Skittles. Damn near any pretext will do. And these excuses for murder are routinely accepted by authority figures. No investigation and no penalty for the perpetrators. In this society, there's always been a constant devaluation of the humanity and life of African American citizens. In the aftermath of Trayvon's murder, we have heard, and you will continue to hear a lot of discussions about stand your ground laws, self-defense laws, the castle doctrine, etc. Legal experts, news commentators, NAACP officials, and others will talk about the nuances and applicability of various laws, examining questions like, does a given law apply to a neighborhood watch personnel? What was the legislative intent in drafting the legislation? If under the law a pursuer is an aggressor, why is the statute's immunity provision even to be considered? Was George Zimmerman an aggressor? What is the appropriate level of discretion that should be placed in the hands of police officers to determine whether to arrest? What legal standards should a judge use to determine immunity? What clothes was Trayvon wearing? Why was a drug test given to Trayvon's dead body and not George Zimmerman? Is George Zimmerman white or Latino? Does he have one white parent and one Latino parent? Did Trayvon have 4 arms and 8 hands so he could hold a bag of Skittles in hand 1, a bottle of iced tea in hand 2, a cell phone in hand 3, put on a hoodie with hand 4, put a hand in his waistband with hand 5, etc., etc. These questions and discussions are, as Dr. Bobby Wright would say, the equivalent of rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. Or as law school students are familiar with, all of these discussions, questions, and calls for new law and examinations of legal standards are the proverbial red herrings, serving no purpose but to distract and detour or dissipate. Detract, detour, and dissipate. My 1L students look at me with bewilderment when I tell them that laws do not protect anyone. Power is what protects people. When someone hurts you, it is because they had the power to hurt you, and you either did not have the power to stop them or you did not use your power to stop them. The NAACP is requesting that an arrest be made in the case and a thorough investigation and trial be conducted in the matter. Naval said this event wants you to sign a petition. Some want to change or reform stand your ground laws. And all of those things are okay. But do not confuse those steps with fighting for justice, and do not confuse those things with building power. If those goals are achieved, tragically, you will in the future be calling for more arrests, signing more petitions, and requesting changes to other laws. And tragically, there will be future murders of innocent, unarmed black victims. This is not about changing the law. Indeed, we would be better off if we changed the narrative. The false, defamatory, and slanderous narrative about black males. You all know these narratives. Black males are drug dealers, criminals, violent, rapists, etc. Allow me one simple and brief example. Several years ago, some law students couldn't understand why I didn't like the hit TV show called The Wire. The law students would tell me it's a great show, authentic, gritty, tells all angles, realistic, etc. The major stars of this TV show were characters like Avon Boxdale and Omar. They were both violent criminals. I would simply ask one of my students a question about the character named Omar. I would say, in real life, not on TV, how many gay black males do you know that carry a shotgun and rob people, which was Omar's role on the TV show? Inevitably, the students didn't know one such person, because that person does not exist. But it does serve the function of criminalizing black males, perpetuating a defamatory narrative about black males. And that narrative has deadly consequences in real life, not on TV, as police officers and people like George Zimmerman come to view any and all black males as drug dealers, criminals, and as suspicious, and they kill them. Finally, I heard numerous talking heads shaping this narrative, saying that this tragic event is not a black and white thing, it's a right and wrong thing. It's not about racism. Yet that statement is a false dichotomy, because the decision to engage in racism and shoot Trayvon, or the decision to not engage in racism and to not pursue Trayvon, is a right and wrong thing. Not seeing Trayvon as a likely criminal is the right thing to do. Not seeing black males as criminals is the right thing to do. One of my favorite movies is Cornbread, Earl and Me. It was made in the 1970s, and it's about the life of Trayvon Martin. But I'm going to end with a more recent movie and encourage each of you to simply do the right thing. Thank you.
Thank you.